Hi everyone, Joe Graziano here, the Joe G. Welcome to my little corner of cyberspace here on YouTube. It's been a while since I've published a video. The last one was probably back when we were talking about OBS. So welcome back if you saw that video, and if you're new here, welcome as well. I hope you like the content I'm delivering. I'd be appreciative if you'd subscribe and like below. There's definitely going to be some more content in upcoming. Speaking of the year, we're almost at the end. It's now December. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Have a good time, have a restful time. Take some time to yourself and enjoy spending time with friends and family. Today, though, we're here to talk about Horizon. The VMware's Horizon 2106. It's the latest edition, and we're going to do an install and configuration of the base product, as well as talk about and show you the administrative console of the product as well in this video. So I hope you like it. And without further ado, let's get to the install. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is locate your installer media after you've downloaded it from the VMware site. In this case, we're in an installer folder that I created. We're going to install the Horizon Connection Server version 8.3, which is 2106 that we talked about. Once this starts, you'll see that we are at version 2106 right there. Click next, select the license agreement, choose the location for the installer. Next, and since this is our first, we're going to do a standard. You can choose to install or not install HTML, and there are a couple other versions that we will go into in a later video, like enrollment true SSO. So we'll click next. And here's where you pick your password for data recovery. If you ever have any trouble with the Atom database, this is the password that's going to help you restore that from any outage. Configure the firewall automatically. This is very valuable. It's going to do all the firewall configurations for you. Pick your admin. You can either do the local admins group or an individual admin user. And then click next. Data collection if you choose to provide that up to VMware. And then here, this is new. You have the option of picking a general on-premises, but you can also do AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, if you're doing a cloud-based install. So once you click next here, the system, it's going to go through the install process, which takes a couple of minutes to help with time. We've paused appropriately and moved this forward a little bit for the recording. And once the install is getting closer to completion, you'll notice that the Horizon Administrator is there on the desktop. If you choose, you can show the documentation, click Finished, and just like that, the install is done. And now we're ready to move on to the administration console. Now that you have the product installed, we need to configure it. So let's open the Horizon Admin Console, the web interface. And here you're going to provide the user ID that you provide when you install the software. In this case, my admin account. So I'm going to log in here. And the first thing you see is licensing. So before you start, you have to put your license key in, which you'll have downloaded from your My VMware site. Simply paste the key in. And once it's pasted in, everything falls into place and you have your licenses available to you. In here, you can look at the license usage, concurrent licenses, what's in use, to get an idea of what's being used for your licenses. Next is going to be servers. We need to attach to vCenter in order for us to create instant clones, pools, and like. So in this case, I'm going to connect to my lab vCenter in all the information. One of the user accounts that is part of that has admin rights to the vCenter. And once I put that information in, I'm going to click next, and we'll be presented with a certificate that I need to accept, because in this case I've got self-signed certificates. So simply view the certificate, click accept, and you're ready to go. Next though is an item in setting up vCenter called the default host cache size. It's low. VMware recommends 2048, so that's what we put in here in typical builds. And then we'll click next, submit, and once we're done, we have vCenter tied into Horizon and we're ready to use it. Along here, we have gateways, which is where your UAGs will be connected at a future date. And then in this case, we have our connection servers as well. You can see all the connection servers that we'll have installed. There could be, multiples in this section. And then we'll move on. We're going to do the events database. You can't save events without having a database. There is going to be constant events being created, but without a database, they have nowhere to go. So in this case, we're going to attach to a SQL Server. Database was already created. There are some KBs out there that'll be linked in the comments for how you can get this how you can get these databases set up and ready to go for Horizon. But in this case, I'm going to attach to a database that I've created. And then I'll be able to capture the events as they happen, good and bad, in the Horizon environment. There you can see that the database is connected and operational. Next, we're going to go to the domain section. This is where we're going to add a service account for our instant clone domain account. This is the service account that is going to interact from Horizon to AD to create machines. It's going to have the rights in AD to create the machines when we're creating instant clone pools. And then connection server, again, domains. You can see that the connection server is part of the domain. If you have multiple domains, domain bind here is where you'll add those domains, but we'll talk about that at a future time. Global settings. So there's a lot of global settings that you can do. You can have single sign-on. You can have API and console timeouts. A lot of features, a lot of things that you could do here. Security settings are also here in this section. And then client restrictions, like you might want to restrict how many, what version of clients can get to your Horizon environment. Registered machines, if you're doing RDS, will show up here. The next biggie is the administrators. Who can manage this environment? So you'll see here you've got roles and privileges. There's a bunch of built-in multi-level from admin down to viewer. You can create your own. If you come into the permissions, you can see these groups, who's part of it. You can also create access groups for certain sections of Horizon. A lot of flexibility. Cloud pod architecture, which we're not going to go into today, but cloud pod architecture, as you can see from the picture, it allows you to federate multiple pods across data centers, across geolocations. We'll get to that in a whole video of its own. Global policies, multimedia redirection, USB access, you will edit them here. But like in my blog post, this isn't the only place. Okay, next up, we're just taking a tour. Desktops, this is where your pools are going to be for your VDI pools. Applications, application pools from RDSH hosts, and that ties right into farms, which is the RDSH farms of servers that will give you those applications. And machines, this is every machine that's been created in your pool, or in your pools inside of Horizon. You'll see them here. But the biggie, here's our dashboard. This is where everything really comes together. You'll see a lot of data, and you can quickly see what's going on. Like in this case, I have an untrusted certificate, but that's okay because I didn't add regular certificates. And then events, this is everything that's happening, and it's also stored in your events database. And then I'm getting behind sessions and the help desk tool, which we'll talk about at a future video. But again, sessions are the sessions that are going on. The help desk tool allows you to see what's happening in a given session. And then we come back to the dashboard, which is, like I said, this is where we're going to get started and go from there. So, and there you have it. Horizon 2106, the latest version 8, 8.3, and the admin console installed and configured. Hope you enjoyed it. Had a good time making the video, and I hope this provides a lot of information and usefulness to everyone watching it. Please drop a like and subscribe down below. Send me some comments. Let me know what you thought. A good and bad feedback. I'll take everything. And at this point, I will say thank you. And again, the end of the year, have a great holiday, everyone. Many blessings, and spend some time with loved ones, and enjoy. All right. We'll talk to you soon. I'm VJoG, Joe Graziano. Thanks for stopping by.